Hey, welcome back to our special feature on the Educational AD podcast with women athletic directors giving their perspective on issues that we all face as athletic administrators. Before we get going, we want to give a shout out to our podcast partners, We Coach and the Global Community of Women in High School Sports. These are two great organizations that you really need to be a part of. So check out the Global Community of Women in High School Sports and We Coach. Now, let's hear from our podcast sponsors. We want to thank our friends at Snap Mobile for their support of the podcast. Snap Mobile has an entire suite of platforms that are designed to help you as an athletic director do your job better. Snap Raise is their fundraising platform. They've helped schools raise over $700 million, and you can be one of them. Go to snapraise.com for more information. You can also check out Snap Spend, Snap Store, Snap Manage. Snap Manage helps you design an entire website. And Snap Connect will help you connect with your parents. It's all there at snapraise.com. That's snapraise.com. We also want to say thanks to Athletic Surveys by LifeTrack. Athletic surveys are a quick, easy, and affordable way for you to collect comprehensive data that allows you to evaluate and improve your entire athletic program. Athletic surveys allows you to hear from the 98% of the parents that really love your program instead of just hearing from the 2% that want to gripe. But that 2% is also included in the athletic survey, and sometimes they'll share a small issue that you can address and keep it from turning into a big issue because you didn't know about it, because you didn't do a survey. Check out athleticsurveys.com or email them at info@athleticsurveys.com to get started. If you've never used a survey to take the pulse of your student athletes or your parents, you're really missing out. That's athleticsurveys.com. We also want to say thanks to Final Forms. Go to finalforms.com/Jake and see how they can help your stakeholders, your coaches, and you. For your parents, Final Forms has reminders about policies, about physicals, and all the forms that come when you have an athlete in the house. Final Forms can help your coaches with attendance and communication. And for you as an athletic director, Final Forms can help with eligibility, with rosters, and all the reports that come across your desk. You know, it's time that you talk to a team that's walked in your shoes. To take the next steps, go to finalforms.com/Jake. That's finalforms.com/Jake. We also want to say thanks to Gipper. Go to Gipper.com and see how athletic directors are creating world-class marketing content for their school's social media channel. Use the podcast code ADPOD10 and get 10% off. That's Gipper.com. Create custom branded content for your school's social media channel. We also want to say thanks to Huddle. Go to Huddle.com. More than 200,000 teams across the country use Huddle to help their athletes and coaches perform better. As a football coach, I used Huddle for years, but when I became an athletic director, I made sure our school was a Huddle school. And the tools that they provided our coaches, they just loved. So go to Huddle.com. You'll find a professional grade solution for the challenges you and your coaches face. At Huddle, we believe in sports and teams believe in Huddle. Go to Huddle.com and turn your school into a Huddle school. We also want to say thanks to Wall of Fame by Vital Signs. You know, they're on a mission to bring your school's legacy to life. Their interactive touchscreen consoles and their library of templates will help you recognize the athletic achievements of your students, both past and present. Go to vitalsignswalloffame.com or email them at info@vitalsignswalloffame.com to get started. We also want to say thanks to Hometown Ticketing, the leading digital ticketing provider to schools and colleges. Go to Hometown Ticketing. They'll show you how to sell your tickets, scan the attendees that come to your games, and every step of the way, you'll have a dedicated client success manager. Hometown will also show you how to sell tickets for things like school dances, school plays and concerts, even graduation. You'll find it all at hometownticketing.com. Simple and easy online ticketing. We also want to say thanks to Sideline Interactive, indoor scoring tables and video boards. Go to sidelineinteractive.com. and check out their products. Also schedule a live web demonstration of how their boards can help you out. We've got a sideline interactive score table in our gym, and it's just fantastic. We use it for games, of course, but we also use it for pep rallies, for signing ceremonies. It's tremendously versatile, and their customer service is just outstanding. That's sidelineinteractive.com. They not only raise money for your department, but they also create the ultimate game day experience for your student athletes. Sidelineinteractive.com. Hey, welcome back, everyone, to the Educational AD Podcast. This is another segment in our series featuring women athletic directors sharing their perspectives. Our guest today is, again, Tammie Talley. She is a certified athletic administrator. She's also the county athletic director for Duval County Public Schools here in Florida. Very well respected in the state and nationally. Also very active in her community. And she's on the FIAAA Executive Board. So, Tammie, your first segment was just outstanding. What do you have to follow that up for our listeners today?
So, Jake, I would love to talk about the scholarship programs that we have in Duval County. If you do not have a scholarship program in your county, you need to get one. And hopefully some of the things that I'm going to talk about will give you some ideas, maybe spark some interest in your community to be able to establish, you start with one and then you can grow to 17 or 18 like we have had. I think we've had 18 total just that our office manages right here in the community. And the first one that I'd like to talk about is our local sports radio show. We partner with 1010 XL Jack Sports Radio, and we do a Scholar Athlete of the Week every week. And the way that works is schools, athletic directors, coaches, and principals have the distinct pleasure to be able to nominate deserving student athletes. We have a list of qualifications, minimum qualifications, and they submit that application to our office. We have a committee of individuals that reviews those, and we come up with our weekly Scholar Athletes. So the week before, I go to the school and I do a surprise presentation to the student athlete in front of either, I'll do it at their practice or before a game, after a game, or maybe they have a real flexible class that I can go in and do it in front of their friends. And I go there with the principal, the athletic director, and the coach. We do the presentation. I give them a certificate, and then I tell them, and next week on Tuesday, you will be interviewed live on the radio by Frank Frangie and everybody on staff. So they're super excited. And then I tell them, you also have the opportunity to win a $2,500 scholarship, which we award at our Gateway Conference Awards ceremony at the end of the school year. And so what happens is that next week I meet the student athlete at the radio station. And then I have them arrive 10 or 15 minutes beforehand, and I kind of give them a quick 101 interviewing skills, speak loud, speak clearly, expand on your answers. Don't use and I've probably said 100 times in my interviews, but I tell the kids, try to, take a deep breath. You don't have to talk really fast. Think about your answers. So we kind of go over those things. And then they go in, we take some pictures, they do the interview, and then we leave. I remind them that they have until April 1st to update their resume, because that's how we choose the $2,500 winners at the end of the school year. It's basically how good you look on paper. We do a rubric, the most sports they participate in, the most community service hours that they have, test scores, all of that. And so we have done this now for 11 years. So for the past 11 years, the radio station has given $5,000, and we give one male, one female Scholar Athlete of the Year. And then at the end of the school year, they get to go and do another interview on the radio, and we do the big check presentation. I try to make it really special. I partner with one of our local printing companies, and they do the big checks. And so we go to the school and do that. We do it at the award, the Gateway Conference award ceremony at the end of the year. So it's a great partnership that we have with the radio station. So I encourage you in your town, if you have a radio station, because it gives them great publicity. You know, we post stuff on Twitter, we tag them on social media, they send stuff back. And then we also post on our website, and we also send an email to the principal, the athletic director, the coach, and then we kind of highlight the student athlete. I get a copy of the audio from the radio station. I put that in the email. We also put that on our website as well for friends and family to share. So it's a great partnership that we have, but it also provides opportunities for our kids to get those interview skills. And then at the end of the day, hopefully get some money to go on to pursue their, college dreams. And so that works out really well. We also partner with one of our local hospitals, and we do a scholarship for 2 kids that plan on majoring in sports medicine. Safety is extremely important here in our district. Part of that scholarship process is we also do a shadowing over the summer. So students who are interested in sports medicine or related field, we get them assigned to different hospitals, physical therapy places. They can go out and do adaptive surfing. They can do wheelchair Olympics, all these different things, speech therapy, occupational therapy. So all summer long, they get to do a shadowing because, everybody says, oh, I want to be a, TV host, or I want to be a physical therapist. And then they have never really experienced that. We try to give them the opportunity to experience that. And then there's an application process at the end of the shadowing. There's an essay. There's, all of that stuff that goes with it, letters of recommendation. And then we give 2 students, a male and a female, a $5,000 scholarship to pursue their dreams of, being, a nurse practitioner, occupational therapist, whatever that is. So get with your local hospitals and physical therapy organizations to see if they have funding where they can provide scholarships for your kids. We also had our custodial department within the district had some funding, and they wanted to, they loved our Healthy Athlete initiative. They loved the safety of the sports athlete. And so what they wanted to do is they wanted to piggyback off of our hospital scholarship and to be able to give, so we had the 2 $5,000 winners, and then the custodial groups, and we've had 3 different organizations. They've kind of changed names, but every year they've still wanted to participate. They each give 3 $1,000 scholarships, and basically those went to the 3 runners up who didn't win, who the 3 next best ones. So we were able to give $13,000 in scholarships to kids who wanted to pursue their dreams of sports medicine or nursing or something like that. We're also fortunate to have one of our big restaurants here in town is Bono's Barbecue, and the owner, Joe Adib, attended one of our local high schools. He was a student athlete. He was all Gateway Conference, and so he wanted to be able to provide a scholarship to kids who kind of did the same kind of thing he did, participated in multi-sports. So we just came up with a scholarship application based on what this alumni, this restaurant owner, wanted to do. And so that was kind of cool. He gave us $5,000. We were able to split that up. Every year we've done it differently. One year we did 2 $2,500. One year we did 5 $1,000. It just kind of depends. But it was super cool, and it connects us back to the community, but also being able to provide some of those scholarship dollars to individuals as well. And because our scholarship program is so vibrant in the district, now we've had individuals, whenever people have passed away in memory of, reach out and want to have a scholarship in the name of this particular person in the community. It could be a soccer mom, it could be a coach. And so I help them develop their criteria. I help them develop their application. And then I give them pointers on how they, collect the applications, how they promote it, how they develop a committee to review the applications. So we have several of those. Sometimes people, do it every single year. Sometimes they'll do it, 1 year and they won't do it for a couple of years and they'll come back and do it. And then sometimes it's just new ones all the time. So we have those. And also, you have to remember your state organizations always have scholarships. The FIAAA has the Mandy Stoll Scholarship. And that goes, you can reach out to your district director and they can give you that information. The application is usually due the beginning of April, and we award the winners in May. So that's also a great way that you can promote not only your state organization, but scholarships as well. And then the FACA, the Florida Athletic Coaches Association, has the Sammy Sirianni Scholarship that we award to student athletes whose parents are coaches. So there's always usually like a different type of minimum requirement. And what I try to do is have a very up-to-date website, and you can click on the link. And when you go there, all of our scholarships are listed there. We also, one other one that I wanted to discuss is the NFL Players Retired Association. Every market has an organization that's made up of the retired players of the NFL, and they give scholarship dollars. So make sure that you reach out. If it's not in your particular town, it could be, a neighboring town where your student athletes could still have the opportunity to participate. The one big criteria with that one is the student athlete cannot have signed a letter of intent to play sports in college. They give funding to students who are not playing sports in college. So those are just a few of the scholarships that we manage here in the district in Duval County. I encourage you to reach out to those organizations, those different community partners in your area to see if they are interested, because a lot of times they do have monies that they want to give back to our schools and our student athletes. And then just make sure that you're promoting it. And then the number one thing I tell kids and parents and even coaches and athletic directors all the time is thanking the people who not only recommended you for the scholarship, but the people that are giving you the scholarship. So every single letter that I create, if I am managing the scholarship or if somebody else is, I always ask them to please put in there to remind the student athlete to thank the people who recommended them and the people who provided the scholarship, because a handwritten thank you note, no matter how short, goes a long way. So I hope those scholarship program tips, Tallie's tips for the day helped you. I'd love for you to reach out to me if you have, additional questions, or maybe you have some ideas or something that you do in your county or your school that we don't do here, and then I can grow my list. So I'd love to hear from you.
Well, again, just a great presentation. You crammed a lot into that 10 minutes. The very first one you mentioned about, the Scholar Athlete of the Month doesn't cost that much. And it's a great way to, we always hear that phrase, control the narrative. It's a great way to get the good news of your school district and your athletic department out there that, boy, look at all these kids, with the great GPAs, all the different scholarship venues, getting the local alumnus who love sports when they were in school to get involved. I love that idea. And you mentioned Mandy Stoll. One of my great pleasures and honors as an athletic director here in Florida was being on that committee with you every year for helping determine the Mandy Stoll winners. If you're looking for a retired AD to be on that committee, I'd love to get back involved. But Tammie, one of our listeners wants to reach out and pick your brain. And listeners, I think you got a heck of a resource here. What's the best way they can get a hold of you?
So email is a great way to get in touch with me, especially if you want me to share content with you or you want to share something with me. So tallyt@duvalschools.org, or I can always also be reached on my cell, 904-899-3087.
Tammie Talley, thanks so much for sharing with us this week, and all the best for the rest of the school year. For our listeners, remember we do this every single week, and the recordings also get uploaded to the Educational AD Podcast YouTube channel. We appreciate you listening. Come back again next time for some more wisdom on the Educational AD Podcast. Boy, that was some really great stuff. I encourage you to reach out to Tammie. Before we go, we do want to thank our sponsors. They make this all happen. Gipper, go to gipper.com, create custom branded content for your school's social media channel. You even get 10% off if you mention the podcast. Our code is ADPOD10. I want to say thanks to Huddle. As a football coach, I used Huddle for years. When I became an athletic director, I made sure our school was a Huddle school. Go to huddle.com, find out all the things they can do for you, your coaches, and your athletes. Hometown Ticketing is the leading digital ticketing provider to schools and colleges. Do I need to say anything more? Go to hometownticketing.com. They're going to show you how to sell your tickets online, and you'll have a dedicated client success manager every step of the way. That's hometownticketing.com. Snap Mobile is also one of our sponsors. Go to snapraise.com. Check out their entire suite of platforms. SnapRaise is their fundraising platform. They have Snap Connect, their platform to engage with parents. Snap Manage, they'll show you how to set up an entire website for your athletic department. You can find it all at snapraise.com. Want to say thanks to Wall of Fame by Vital Signs. If you're looking for a really cool way to display your school's record boards for all your teams, for all your sports, or your school's Hall of Fame, go to vitalsignswalloffame.com or email them at sales@vitalsignswalloffame.com. We also want to thank Final Forms. Final Forms is the leading platform for forms and registration, but they are so much more than that. Go to finalforms.com/Jake, finalforms.com/Jake to get started with Final Forms. We also want to thank Sideline Interactive indoor scoring tables and video boards. You've heard me say before, we've got one of their indoor scoring tables in our gym, and it's just fantastic. We use it for games, of course, but we also use it for pep rallies, for signing ceremonies. It's tremendously versatile. Go to sidelineinteractive.com or email them at sales@sidelineinteractive.com. And finally, we want to say thanks to Athletic Surveys by LifeTrack. These surveys are a quick, easy, and affordable way for you to collect data from your student athletes, from your parents, even from your coaches, to help you run your program better. The data that you collect is information that allows you to support the decisions that you're making, because most of your parents, most of your student athletes love what you're doing. So go to athleticsurveys.com, or you can email them at info@athleticsurveys.com. Thanks again for tuning in today. We'll see you next time on the Educational AD Podcast.